What is up, Big Talk Nation? Welcome back to another beautiful episode of the Big Talk Podcast with Chris and Gregg. Chris.
This is Gregg.
And that is the Crew, Motley Crue. Debut album right there.
Not Motley Who, Motley Crue.
Motley Crue, Too Fast for Love. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, because you know that we are both too fast for love.
Yeah.
Let's dive right in.
I'm ready.
We got Live Wire playing.
Hold on, before you start, man, I just want to do some business first to get that out of the way.
Oh, yeah, guys. Guess what? At BigTalkCG.podcast on TikTok and on Instagram. We are also on Twitter at BigTalkCG. Gmail, we are BigTalkCG@gmail.com. We are on YouTube. We're on Facebook. Just search us under the Big Talk Podcast with Chris and Gregg.
All right.
That's 3 G's, 1 in the front, 2 in the back.
Ooh, you got through that very well, man. You've been practicing.
I have been practicing all week. I've been practicing all week.
In front of the mirror or in front of Rambo?
In front of the mirror. At different angles. I got the mirror that I
got
like 3 mirrors that I use to kind of make sure I get the angle right on everything, dude. Let's get right into it. Let's get right into the Crew. Too Fast for Love.
Excellent.
Debut album.
Oh, my God, so good.
November 10th, 1981. The original release on Leather Records. Well, this was not actually my first introduction to the Crew. Shot the Devil was the first album that I heard. I think I've told that story about Back in Black and Shot the Devil being the first 2 albums I heard, rock albums I heard. But Shot the Devil was the first. So I had to go back and visit this one years later. I mean, this was probably, we've talked about how kids have no money, like we didn't have money in the 80s. So as soon as I finally got my hands on one, I love this album. It's so good, dude.
Did you buy it, or was it a dubbed copy from your buddy? That dubbed thing for you.
I think my first copy of this was a real copy.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dub. I love it, dude. Live Wire right here was the lead-off track here, like I said. Let's talk about this album now, dude. Released November 10th, 1981 on Leather Records, like I said. Recorded in October of 81, so just a month before in Hit City in West Hollywood.
Nice.
Peak position for this album was number 77, which is pretty good, dude, considering basically this is just a well-produced demo.
Nice.
That's what they say. Nikki Sixx says just well-produced. Well, the original version they produced themselves, and then Elektra, when they got their hands on it, did little remixing and stuff and
a little remastering,
that kind of stuff. Mixing. And it's 1 times platinum, which surprises me. I would have thought by now that this thing would be at least 2 times platinum.
Right?
It's just ridiculous. Maybe everybody's got dub copies.
That's it. Wait a minute. So it's been 1 million since the release? Wow. I figure that's hard to believe, but okay. Especially with that movie The Dirt came out. That really gave a good boost in their record sales. The remastered stuff that they've been doing. I'm surprised, dude. I'm surprised.
So this is track 2. Live Wire. Is there anything you want to say about that track besides it's kick-ass?
High energy rock and roll that just gets you started. That's a great way to start that album, man.
It's in your face. Here we are right from the top. Live Wire brings it. Then we come here, track 2, Public Enemy, number 1. Sixx wrote this with Lizzie Gray. I'm not sure who Lizzie Gray is.
I thought you said Come On Dance was the second song.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Come On and Dance.
My bad. I guess because we have the Elektra version playing instead of the original.
All right.
So let me actually scroll down a little bit.
Okay.
Where I do have the Elektra. So yes, Come On and Dance is track 2. My bad, Greg. Thank you for the correction.
Correction.
Come On and Dance. What do you think of this one, man? I mean,
in the early 80s, when they say the word dance, you're thinking, it's going to be like a dance song or something to groove into. But this is still rocking, and they just happened to sing it about a girl saying, come, I'm going to play music, and all you got to do is just stand there and dance. Kind of attitude feel to it.
I think this song is straight sex. I think dance is a metaphor for sex.
Ooh.
Yeah, you listen to some of the lyrics. When she's hot, when she's on top, when she's on top, damn, she's hot.
All right.
Final line, I think, before the last chorus is, and she'll suck you dry. So I'm pretty sure what I think it's about sex, which is what a lot of their music is.
Yeah, we're not gonna lie, man. Sex, and there's a little bit about sex in there too.
Yeah, and then a little bit about sex also. You ready to go to the next one?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Now we got Public Enemy #1. Dude, sorry about that. Had my versions crossed.
I had to stop you. I was like, yeah, Chris, you jumped gun. You know what? You're excited because it's Motley Crue, man. And we've been wanting to do this for a very, very, very long time.
Yeah, I'm surprised it took us so long.
I am too.
This because Motley Crue is one of the of this genre that we always talk about, rock music from the 80s. They're on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
And for us to take this long to get to them, it wasn't on purpose. It just we just had other ideas of stuff we wanted to do, and we'll do it later. Now we're doing it. Now we're having our own little Crue Fest. Crue Fest 2023.
There you go.
Chris and Gregg. Love it. Public Enemy #1. Kind of like us against the world kind of a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
You can kind of look at it a few ways. Public Enemy #1. It's almost, some people have kind of said it's almost like a Bonnie and Clyde kind of a thing. I think it's more of like when you're trying to be the best and you're on your way to the top, people are gonna try to knock you down. You're gonna be Public Enemy #1. People are gonna try to get rid of you, and they've been trying to stop this band since the get-go, and no one's ever stopped them except for themselves. To be honest with you, that's the only thing that stopped them.
That's definitely true, man.
Love this song. We're gonna say that probably about every song. Well, I'm gonna say it about almost every song. Love this song. Love it, dude. I like the chug along.
The chug along on that one.
It's great, dude. Love it.
Yeah. I think definitely for me, the star for this album is definitely Mick Mars. Mick Mars is definitely the star of this album. Some albums it's the songwriting. Some albums you can just been singing. Very rare when I say that, but man, I love Mick Mars. I think he did a great job on getting the feel and capturing the first thoughts of what Motley Crue is. Mm-hmm. And that's what these guys did.
Oh, yeah. You ready to go to the next one?
Hell yeah, bring it to me.
Let's go. Merry-Go-Round. Merry-Go-Round around.
Now, do you put this in a ballad? Or not really?
I put this as my least favorite song on the album, and I say it is of a ballad tempo. Yes.
Okay.
The subject matter, I don't think is necessarily for a ballad. It's usually love and stuff like that, or
heartbreak.
Yeah. But yeah, I would put this as a ballad, not a power, just a ballad. What do you think of this song, man?
I love it. Catchy, merry-go-round around, merry-go-round around.
He says that a little too much for me.
Okay, is that what it is? It's the producer, man. Say it one more time. No. Say it again. Say it again.
So I was digging about this song, and apparently Nikki Sixx's inspiration for this song is when he was living in Seattle. He was about, I forget his age, but living in Seattle, looking out the window and seeing this guy that went crazy, and apparently what happened, it was this kid that was probably about 20, 23 years old, already had 4 kids. They had to call to get him pried off of the merry-go-round because he wouldn't get off. He was having like this mental breakdown. And that's kind of the inspiration for this song, is about that mental breakdown and that guy not wanting to get off the merry-go-round.
That does make a lot of sense.
Remember spinning on the merry-go-round as fast as you could, holding on for dear life? That was the greatest thing. You can't do that anymore. I haven't seen a merry-go-round in years. Let's talk a little bit about this album. Like we had said, it was released November 10th, 81. And their first edition, 900 copies.
Yeah.
There's
and that was on Leather Records,
that
right?
That is correct. Leather Records.
Yeah. And I think the original manager, Alan Kaufman, was the owner of Leather Records. And the band owned the rights. They were like, you got it. You got the publishing rights. They said all the music, all the stuff is still Motley Crue.
So that first edition, they sold 900 copies. So the first recording session, like we said, was in October of 81. After half a year after they played their first show together. So 6 months already in the studio, basically recording a demo, seeing if they can do anything. And there's 3 different copies of the Leather Records one. The first one has a white lettering on the cover, and then the sticker on the album itself is white with black lettering, and it shows, you guys, if you've seen the picture of it, Vince Neil with his huge airbrushed hairdo that's on the back, it's like here, dude. It's hilarious. Version 2 had red letters on the cover. The label's still white with black lettering. Has a little bit different photo insert of the band. And the third version is red lettering on the cover, and the label is black. Now it's black, the one on the record with white labeling. Of course, you can look at the numbers on the album and kind of figure out which one's which. And then there was only one known cassette version. So there's 3 LP, 1 cassette. Let's just go ahead and go to the next song right here, baby. Yeah. Take Me to the Top.
That's it, man.
I love it, dude. Talk about
rock and roll, baby. Great song. I mean, same thing with a band struggling, saying, "Hey, we're gonna make it, and we're gonna take it to the top."
Exactly.
You know? And that's what the song, man. It's just jams. It's just great. Yeah. Great feel to it, man.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites on the album. Take Me to the Top. It's like that mantra of this band. Just nothing's gonna stop us. We're gonna go to the top. Take me to the top. Let's do it. You know, they always had that Motley Crue gang mentality.
Yeah.
And this song really kind of encapsulates everything. I love this little guitar right here. Love that shit.
Yeah, same
Every
thing, man.
time.
That's what I said, man. Mick Mars. He's the man.
Let's talk about the Elektra version.
Okay.
So the Elektra version, when they signed with Elektra, they took basically the album that they had and they just took it to Roy Thomas Baker, and he remixed it, remastered it, all that stuff. And then they released that version. The first release of that version was August 20th of 1982. They did a different track order, like I already fucked up on in the beginning of the show. They also took off Stick to Your Guns off of their version, and they re-recorded some of the songs. Come On and Dance, and then there was 2 versions, I think, if I'm correctly, of is it Piece of Your Action or Livewire?
I thought it was Too Fast.
Might have been Too Fast. It's got a longer intro.
Yeah, it's
on
Too
it,
Fast,
and they cut that down. And here's something funny. So Motley Crue, this album came out, there was some buzz going. They were going to go on a tour in Canada. So Elektra wanted to make sure that there were albums ready for the public to buy. So that first shipment of albums that they sent to Canada are all basically just the Leather Records version. They hadn't yet touched it. They hadn't done anything, and they weren't available for them when they went on tour. And then the second, batch, the second round, second pressing were of the newer Elektra ones. You can find some places the leather version. I didn't see it on Spotify. Did you see? I just saw the 21 remastered and deluxe edition.
No, I have not seen it.
I do have a cassette version of this, but I think it's also Elektra. So I don't know how available that is. Have you heard the Leather Records version or remember hearing it? We've probably heard it. We probably have, but I just don't remember.
I want to say I probably heard it and I've seen it. My neighbors who he's a good 5 or 6 years older than me.
Yeah.
He had a copy of the Leather Records Motley Crue Too Fast for Love. He never let me borrow it, but I remember he had it and I saw it. I had it in my hands and just saw like the differences. Oh man, see, this is different,
Mm-hmm.
that kind of stuff.
Love it. You ready to go to the next song?
Sure.
Love little Vince's yell right here. He's actually singing.
I know. I was going to say that. If it wasn't Mick, I would have said Vince would be the hero of this album.
Yeah, he does actually a pretty good job on this one vocally. One of the better jobs of their albums, in my opinion. So, I was trying to see, did you know of any touring they were doing with this album? I really couldn't find any like big time tours or anything.
Yeah,
like
I don't want to say they were doing any big time tours or tour with anybody. I think they were just kind of like on their own doing small things like the Santa Monica Civic and stuff like that. Hey, did you know that the album cover is a homage to the Rolling Stones' 1971 Sticky Fingers.
I did know that.
I didn't know that, man. That was killer. And then when
it's very similar.
It's very, in a sense, a picture of someone's crotch, in the sense of like there, and Vince's is kind of like he just posing, doing stuff. And I thought, wow, I could see that because I know Nicky was very much into the classic rock or, Stones. If not, all these guys were into the Stones and shit like that. Yeah. So that's cool. I thought it was good.
Oh, and I wanted to go back and say this because earlier I said, who in the hell is Lizzie Gray? So, Public Enemy #1 was written by Nikki Sixx and Lizzie Gray.
From London, right?
And Lizzie Gray is Stephen M. Perry. So, yeah, he was with Nikki in London. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So that song was one. I kind of like it when they bring some stuff from some of the early bands and bring it.
Yeah.
Kind of with them.
We
talked about that a little bit with Great White.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of that here now. I mean, it seems like once you left London, your next band was super successful, like Blackie Lawless.
Because he probably knew. Nicky probably saw what was working and what was not working. And, hey, I need guys that are just going to kill it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sometimes your bandmates just aren't as hungry as you are, and you got to find those guys that are just as hungry.
Yeah.
You ready?
Sure.
Track 7, Starry Eyes. This one is okay for me. I know a lot of people say this is my favorite song on the album. It's not mine. It's right down there with Merry Go Round. It just doesn't do it for me. I mean, it's kind of like that starry eyes, like that twinkle in your eye you get.
Yeah.
Kind of a situation. I always kind of thought, you see starry eyes, you're thinking it's gonna be about he's calling a woman starry eyes, but to me, it's more of like this starry-eyed look when people get when they're giving everything they got and kind of in this euphoric state of basically taking it to the top. Yeah, it's kind of what I get from this song.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
There's Mick right there, dude. He's killing it on guitar, dude. I thought, honestly, I think all of them were really good on this first album. I think the one person that grew the most from this album to the next one was Tommy Lee.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
He's not really doing much that's just like holy shit on this album. But man, he grew leaps and bounds as a drummer from this one to Shout at the Devil.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And,
I think that's where he got a lot of his momentum. Is that you're right? He did this. He put the work in. Drum sounds and this and this. You're right. I don't think there's anything super spectacular, on this first album, but it's good. Mm-hmm. And then album number 2, he busted it out, man.
Oh yeah. All right, you ready?
Sure.
Love the intro on this. It's great, dude.
I know. What more can we say, man?
Mick Mars is underrated, definitely for sure. He was a little bit older than the guys in the band too,
right?
5-6 years older, I think, than maybe more. 10 years? I don't know. You tell me. I don't got his birth date here, but I'll find it. If
I would probably say like 10 years on the guys. And then, Motley Crue was not his first band. He had other bands, too, in the 70s. Mm-hmm. He had a different look. I think he had a blondish hair and a mustache. And he was still rocking with some of these other bands in L.A. or kind of going around L.A. until he found the Crue. And, these guys had Young and Hungry. And you know what? I can keep up with these guys. And wham, bam, he did.
He was 11 years older than Tommy Lee. And I think Tommy Lee was the youngest in the band. So he's right up there, dude.
Yeah.
Older. And we've seen these guys play a few times. We saw them play Crewfest 1, Crewfest 2. Didn't we go see them at the Palladium?
Yes.
Did we go to that show at the Hollywood Palladium?
Yeah.
It was like
Saints of LA?
Yeah, it was right after Crewfest 2, I think.
Correct.
After that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then we saw them on the last tour We saw him at the Hollywood Bowl.
Yep.
And then that was it for you, I think. Because I saw him the next night or 2 nights after in Irvine, and then the last show, or one of the last shows in Hollywood, or Staples Center.
Crypto.
Staples Center back then.
It was Staples Center still. I love the beat of this song, the drum. It's
that's not the only time I've seen Crue. I seen him at the Forum for Girls, Girls, Girls. I seen him at Long Beach for theater. I saw Long Beach for Dr. Feelgood.
You're a Crue veteran, dude.
I am, man.
You are a Crue veteran. I think one of the times we saw them at one of the Crue Fests, they played Dr. Feelgood all the way through. It was like the anniversary.
That was the shirt you have on.
Yeah.
Crue Fest 2.
Crue Fest 2.
But dude, I have to say, I love this song. This is
dude.
This is definitely one of the top songs for me, over and over and over. I didn't have to listen to it. I just know all the lyrics.
Oh yeah.
Just too fast for love.
Little bass solo there for Nicky. Nothing spectacular, but it's there.
It's a couple of good riffs, man. Keep you grooving.
All right, let's go to the last track. Well, the last track on the album. We're going to add a couple on here at the end, but on with the show.
This is my favorite song on this album.
Oh, really? Talk about it.
I believe it's because when it's Nikki Sixx talking about how he's not going to be Frank anymore. He's going to be Nikki Sixx.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his story to say how it was. I grew up Frank. I was named of my dad. Fuck my dad. And I'm going to be somebody else. I'm going to be this mega star, Nikki Sixx. And that's what I want to be known as. And basically, I think it's just he did a little song about himself.
Yeah.
And I think it works, And, this is definitely one of those songs that when they played it live was just screaming and yelling real loud, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it must have been something to see these guys in these early club days. I mean, really the only footage you see are basically that Take Me to the Top video, Live Wire, if you go search all this stuff up. But man, it must have been something else to see these guys. They came out like nothing else anyone had ever seen before. And man, that would have been great to have been around.
Well, the first album, this one, the Too Fast for Love, they did a little more dark makeup. They wore like the leather, either as black or red, and they kind of stuck that way. And then, when they went to the next album, Shout Out the Devil, they had the word devil in it, and they did more black, but I think they knew how they wanted to look.
Yeah.
But this album did have a certain look and a certain tone to them.
Yeah.
That they loved.
It's like that.
Yeah.
Kind of thing that Judas Priest did. They kind of had that same leather look. Not so much with all the metal and spikes, but they had that kind of same leather look.
One more thing I want to say about this album and Motley Crue at the time. I don't know if you remember, Chris, they did have a mascot at the time, and they used it a few times on this. And it was the name of the mascot was Alistair Fiend, and it was kind of like a version. I used to say it kind of was a melt between all four of the guys. It had Nicky's hair, and then Mick's look, Tommy's length, and maybe it sounded like Vince. I don't know, and then that mascot comes and goes every once in a while. Like in the beginning, first few tours they used them, and then I think the last time they used them was Dr. Feelgood. And that was kind of
those graphics with the straight jacket, and stuff like that. Yeah, definitely. So this is normally where this album would be over, but we wanted to go ahead and add some of the tracks that were taken off.
There you go.
Some of the tracks that never made it to the final cut. I believe that actually one of these might have been like a B-side to, Stick to Your Guns was their first release. And I think that Toast of the Town might have been a B-side to the Live Wire release, if I remember correctly. Let's go ahead and go to the next song here, guys.
Okay.
Toast of the Town. See, and it still has that. Let's go back and listen to that one more time. I just want to do it. It's like, and you can tell the difference between this and what we just heard.
Yeah.
It's, and of course, this is the 2020. I think this is the 2021 version, but this is. I have no idea why this song is not on the album.
Right, me
I have
too.
No idea, because of the whole grouping of songs that were from this Too Fast for Love era. This is one of the better songs that I think they made, and this should have been on this album for sure. They could have made it, a 10-track album. They could have dropped one of the songs, whatever one, I don't know. But, man, this song should have been on this album.
I believe so, too. I loved it, man. And I think we talked about it during the Pretty Boy Floyd episode where they covered it. They loved it so much that they covered, even though it was never released, in a sense.
I love it because it's just full of, arrogance and, it obviously written about them being the toast of the town. We're the biggest thing in Hollywood. We're selling out, we're at the Starwood. We're selling out
the whiskey,
Santa Monica. I think they sold out Santa Monica Civic Center with no record label support.
Correct.
And every time I'm out in Santa Monica and I walk by it, I tell whoever's listening, hey, Motley Crue sold that place out without any label support. And I got to tell people every time.
You tell the stranger that next to you, man?
I'll tell anybody that'll listen, dude. I'll tell anybody that'll listen to anything I got to say about music. But yeah, I love it. This song is great, dude. We're the toast of the town. We're the best thing going. Everybody thinks that we're amazing and the best. Very confident song, and I love it. God, it should have been on there. And yeah, it's been covered a few times, but the last group we talked about that did it was Pretty Boy Floyd, for sure. They did a pretty good job of it.
I love it, dude. You're right. This was one of those songs that you're like, why didn't they keep it? Mm-hmm. This would have been extra gravy on.
Oh yeah. This was, and I honestly, I get what you're saying with On With The Show, because I do really like that song. This would have just been a perfect closer. On With The Show. Now throw Toast of the Town on there at the end. Done.
There you go.
10 songs I think would have made the album as good as it is. It would have made it better. And you rarely say that, they usually trim the fat.
Yeah.
But this, they cut off a whole turkey leg, man. They should have put this thing right back in there, and man, it would have made the album even better. I think a more complete album. Listen to Mick, dude. He's getting crazy right here, dude.
There you go.
And I love this part right here. Vince, dude, it's killer, dude. Right back into the chorus, and listen, they got the crowd participation with the clapping,
right?
If you went and saw these guys at the club, everybody's clapping, right?
Probably.
It's a little, with the clapping makes it a little poppy. Makes it a little poppy.
But that was, I want to say, the sounds in the 80s, the early 80s. Yeah. They're probably doing that kind of stuff, Get the crowd in there.
Like the Cars did in a couple of their songs, which we just did a couple episodes ago of the Cars.
Exactly.
So, little self-promotion never hurt nobody, baby. All right, let's go to the next song. Tonight. So this is actually, and I'm sure Gregg knows this is a cover song from a band called the Raspberries, formed in 1970 from Cleveland, Ohio. I don't know much about them, and quite frankly, this isn't a show about the Raspberries. But they were influenced by Beatles, Who, the Hollies, same like that, just like a pop band of the time. And I'm okay with it. I mean, it's
wasn't
okay.
Wasn't the singer named Eric Cartman?
Yeah, Eric Cartman. I'm looking at that right now, dude. Yeah,
he was the
and he did some Raspberries. He did some stuff.
He did some
80s.
solo, some solo stuff.
I think that this album is perfect. Right, this song's perfect right where it is.
Yes,
it's not making the
as a
final
hidden beat track or a
yeah
reissue years later on, or a Japan import, which it probably was.
Yeah.
Thanks, Japan.
We're
still coming after you.
Japan. Japan.
Just wait till we go to Tower Records, Japan.
Yeah. So yeah, this song, like you said, everything you just said, I agree with, 100%. Let's go to the next one. Or actually, the last one. Stick to your guns.
Ooh. Love this song too, bro.
Yeah. This could have been on there too. Dude, listen to that drum sound.
Yeah. Why did they take
on the bell? Yeah.
Next time we see Nikki, we're gonna yell at him, man. Why don't you put stick your guns?
Yeah.
Toast your town on it, dummy.
it's stick to your guns, stay true to yourself, no matter what a record label, or the people running clubs or the people that think they know better. Stick to your guns. Make it the way you want to make it, which is kind of a theme through this album.
Yeah, definitely.
Take It to the Top, On with the Show, Starry Eyes. Stick to your guns is right in that same vein of we're going to do it, and we're going to do it our way, and we're going to do it arrogantly and confidently. And it's not even like an if. It's like when we make it. That's kind of the way they always carried themselves. And I love this song. This should have been on there.
Yeah, this is another one that should have been on there also. I was going to say, but didn't they always say when you do your debut album, you have 10, 20 years, 10, 15 years to make it? Like, that's your life experiences.
Your whole life,
it leads up to this. And then when you make your second record, you got like 6 months to write it.
Yeah.
And you'd be like, oh, shit, I had 10 years earlier. Now I only got 6 months to write 10 new songs.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything in your back pocket. I love this song.
Which didn't seem to be a problem for Nikki Sixx.
No, I don't think he did.
Maybe they're in the middle. Maybe they're in the...
Maybe after that last album.
Maybe
the next album.
Yeah. We'll see. Hey, guys. Thank you for coming along on this ride. This ride that was too fast for love.
Hell yeah.
And thank you to the crew for starting off the decade with such great music. Couldn't ask for a better debut album. Remember, guys, this is the Big Talk Podcast with Chris and Gregg. And you can go to our Instagram and our TikTok at bigtalkcg.podcast. We're on YouTube. We're on Facebook. The Big Talk Podcast with Chris and Gregg. That's Gregg with 3 G's, 1 in the front, 2 in the back. We're also bigtalkcg@gmail.com, at bigtalkcg on Twitter. Thank you again, Big Talk Nation. Take it away, Gregg.
All right, everybody. This is Gregg from the Big Talk Podcast with Chris and Gregg, telling you, stick to your guns and see ya. Come on, boys. There's Nikki again.
Dude, you got the great air solos of all time.